So I'll try not to move my head so much today. Any special places you would like to go?
No, not really.
Somebody's fussing at us. Okay, well, we'll go across to the other side then in that area and then back in our regular route. And so I'm going to try not to move my head so much today. Or if I do move, I'm going to move slower so you can see our next door neighbor's house. This is our little cul-de-sac. And Teresa's behind me now. We live on a really pretty little street. Everybody keeps their houses nice. And they have a contract with a company that mows all of our front yards every Tuesday. So they all kind of look the same length all the time. So, kind of a nice little trip. And look both ways for cars. Here we go. Oop. Are we connected?
Yes, we are.
Okie dokie. Good. So I'm talking to Teresa with our intercom on the helmet. And no cars coming. Put up my hand for a left turn. This is another little HOA, Grand Park. And there's just a bunch of small HOAs, 20, 50, 100, 150 homes that make up the Rainbow Springs Estates and Country Club or something like that. We looked at a home over here. We looked at a bunch of homes up here before we found ours. Actually, Teresa found ours. And so we got the best house in the whole place, I think. So hopefully, we're going against the wind now, but I think it's still going to pick up my voice okay. We got those little furry stickers that are on the stereo microphones on the little tiny action cam, so we shall see. Good. Yeah, it might even pick up your voice a little. Don't know. Go to the left. So this is a little bit different HOA, and it looks like some of the people here mow their own yards. But people take care of their places. I never thought I'd be living in an HOA with all those rules and stuff, but I guess when you get older, you kind of like not having people with junk in their yard or any of that other stuff. So on the other side of these trees is the state park, Rainbow Springs State Park, which is the headwaters of the Rainbow River and one of the largest, if not absolutely the largest spring in Florida. So we get crystal clear water coming out of the ground and making a river that is navigable with motorboats, although there's not a lot of them on the river, more kayaks and tubes and stuff. And it's nice to be around clean water. Hello?
Hi.
I didn't hear what he said.
Me either.
Yeah.
That's on it.
I can get on the camera. I can't tilt it down enough to see the little mirrors and how they work. They work really well. I like these little ones on the ends of the handlebars. I've got my phone holder and a little display that comes with our Lectric XP bike. Actually, I have the XP, which was the first model, and Teresa has the ST, which stands for Step Through, which has a lot lower bar in the middle. We'll see when I get this in the editor how well this comes out. But I noticed on my first try at riding with this helmet cam, you know, like I normally ride, I look at everything and jerk my head back and forth a lot, so I'm trying to be more smooth now. You can see it's just lots of nice little roads with little curves, and normally in our hour ride, we very, very seldom see any cars. And it's hilly up here around Dunellen. So the pedal assist on these Lectric XP bikes kicks in when we're going uphill, so that I don't kill my joints. Whee! And they're adjustable. The pedal assist is adjustable, plus we've got 7 speeds manual to switch from, so you kind of play around and find a combination of pedal assist and gear that matches how you like to go. And we usually go around 10 or 12 miles an hour, which is a nice speed, keeps you balanced. If you go much slower than that, sometimes it's a little wobbly. So we try to go about 10 miles an hour. Somebody walking up here. And people wave and stuff. Hi. And everybody looks at our bikes. All of the separate HOAs, but I believe there must be at least 20 or more. And I think there's probably a total of 3,000 homes. Those are pretty flowers. Alamandas, I think. So the oh, go ahead.
They look like alamandas.
So technically we're not in the city limits of Dunellen. We're in unincorporated Marion County. Dunellen's only got about 2,000 people in it, and I think our subdivision has maybe 5,000, 6,000, maybe more. Hard to tell. But they're all nice homes. There was an 18-hole golf course as part of Rainbow Springs Country Club and Golf Course. But they voted a couple of years ago, there's so many golf courses around here and golfing is not as popular. And they really, I guess they weren't making money on the golf course or something, so the residents all voted to close the golf course and turn it into walking paths, and there's a frisbee golf area, and I'm not sure what else there is. Oh, this looks like Mexican sunflowers like we used to have in Cape Coral. I never noticed these. Wow. We know what the, yep, they are Mexican sunflowers. It's Teresa riding her XP. We'll switch positions here pretty soon and she'll take the lead, hopefully, when we get back across into our, well, near our HOA. Ours is one of the smaller ones, I think. There's only 2 streets, 2 little cul-de-sacs, and I think like 42 or 47 homes, I don't remember. Not very many. Well, this will be it's kind of breezy out. It'll be a good test for that microphone on the action camera. I'll try to keep my head still. And it's 5:15. I got over 500 miles on my XP already. 516 miles. Here we go, turning my head everywhere again. We've been here a year and a half, and we just really enjoy it. This is one of the main county roads that comes in and goes around our subdivision and down by the Rainbow River. Rainbow River's nice and clear. Even though the river's only, I don't know, between 3 feet and 20 feet deep. The clarity of the water they measure in feet, and it's, oh, there's our Fox Trace sign for our street. Clarity of the water is over 200 feet. But I guess that's because the river comes out of the ground about a half a mile upstream from where our little subdivision has its own little park. And Teresa, I was thinking we could go down to the park today maybe and add that to the video.
Okay, you bring our pets.
Yes, I did. Yeah, it's a private park, and it's about a half a mile upstream from the KP Hole Park, which is a county park where lots of people go tubing and kayaking and stuff. But they had an issue with a lot of locals, knew our park was there, and they would drive up and go into our park. So now we have to have our picture IDs from the bigger HOA anytime we want to go in the park. We have a guard shack. It's not a very big park, but it's the most upstream privately owned land on the river before you get to the spring headwaters. So it's just really nice. And hopefully we'll get a chance to zip over there and see it. Lots of nice homes here. I'm turning my head slower, and there's people that wave at you when you go by. Hi. We've seen a lot of homes when we were looking for a home here. It was right after they voted to close the golf course. So apparently there were a lot of very disgruntled retired golfers. And those golfers put their homes up for sale in large numbers. And there's still a lot of them up for sale. But we had quite a choice. Bye. So, we got a good deal. I think we got a very good deal on our house. And the taxes up here are lower than where we were in Cape Coral. So we're very happy here. Tracy, you want to go by once we make the turn here and I'll follow you again?
Okay.
Okay. Then we'll have something to look at in front instead of just me looking at houses and stuff. Yep, there's a guy with his dog again, so I'll let you go by me. Yep, figure out what side he's going to be on. Goodness, you're a happy dog. Hi. There's Teresa on her step-through bike. We got them from the company in Phoenix. They're, of course, like every other electric bike, they're mostly made overseas. But these, we haven't had any. Yep, thank you. Yep, I see them. Somebody's got bright lights on up there. Huh? So our bikes have pretty healthy sized batteries in them. They'll, if we pedal like this and go, we'll probably see, 30 miles or so. There goes Teresa. You can kind of hear the motors kick in. It's kind of interesting to have pedal assist, because the motor only kicks on if you're pedaling and it senses a lot of resistance, like if you're going up a hill or something. Or there's a little throttle that you can turn and you can manually drive it. So it's, I think in some states you can actually get a handicap permit. They're called micro-mobility vehicles. But most of the streets here are just loops. You go from one end and loop back around and go out, and that's why you don't see much traffic. There's just a couple of main corridors that get you out of the subdivision. But this is just a wonderful place for riding these bikes. I don't think if I mentioned it or not, but these are Lectric, L-E-C-T-R-I-C bikes out of a company in Phoenix, Arizona by the same name. And they're about, I guess about $900 delivered, and free shipping. They come pretty much like you see them set up here. We've added the mirrors and the bell, and I added the extra holder for my phone. But other than that, of course I put some patches, vinyl patches on mine. But they're pretty much complete. You plug them in, make sure the gear shift and seat and handlebars are adjusted right, and then we charge ours up about every third time we go for a ride, and we go about 10 miles on each ride. And it's a little hilly here, so it's it takes a lot more of the power if you're going up the hills. But I'm surprised. The battery's about the size of a cigarette carton. Probably pretty accurate. And, a couple hours it charges up. I think I'm doing better at keeping my head straight this time. Well, I was wobbling all over on the first video, so I'm trying to be better at this.
Well, it's a good thing to keep your head straight.
Yeah, well, I tried, but there's a lot of reasons for that. Zoom around the mailman here. Looks like he bought a new truck. It's like our little truck, only it has 4 doors in it. And we did put different seats on ours. We thought it was more of a retirement community, but the car could have waited for us. Hi. Oh, the other thing these bikes do is fold in half, so they actually fit in like a 50-gallon tote tub that you could buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. Fold it in half and they fit in your car. You gonna follow me for a while? Yay! Somebody going by on their golf carts. Hi. There we go. Awkward sometimes. And maybe we'll go over to the park and take a look at that.
Okay.
There's our other Fox Trace Street over there, the cul-de-sac. And then behind it is this 18th Fairway. And then the clubhouse is back up there, and that's where these people are going probably, because there's a restaurant and a bar. Get back to pedaling. It's nice, you get enough speed up that you don't get sweaty. It kind of evaporates off. This is one of the main roads. And it goes through the whole subdivision. So cars drive a little quicker on here. I think the speed limit's 30. But apparently a lot of people don't believe that. So, well, back to the subdivision. We're in north central Florida, 20 miles from Ocala, 20 miles west of Ocala. As you can see from the sign, there's a whole bunch of deer that live around here. We see them in our backyard sometimes. But there's a bunch of homes for sale. We looked at a bunch of them. There's one here on the corner for sale. And I would guess the range in here is maybe 130,000 for some of the really older ones, to maybe the average price around maybe 220, 230. And then there's a few huge homes with big yards in here that might be 400,000 or 500,000. But just across the street up here, right on the Rainbow River, you can get a home that's probably older and smaller for 600,000 to $1 million or more. That looks like a bunch of ibises up here, or egrets. Egrets or ibises, white birds. Ibises, yeah. They wander around a lot. Hello. Somebody walking their dog up in front. Lots of interesting flowers and stuff around here. Let's see one of those things to the left here has got those great big blooms that hang upside down. I'm guessing they're for, hello. Maybe the hummingbirds get up in there, or the bats or something. Another nice thing about this place is the trees. I guess they started on this 20 years ago or more, but they tried not to cut any of the original trees, or very many of them. So there's a lot of the big oaks around and other trees. And it's a kind of mature subdivision. There's more of those flowers. They're pretty. This yard's really nicely done up. Almost looks like purple azaleas. I don't know what they are. Me either. So we're going to go back out on that little county road that we crossed quite a while ago. And in front of us, past that stop sign, you'll see some railroad tracks. There is a railroad that goes through Dunellen, sometimes once in the morning, once at night. And we have to go around to the street. So we're actually out on the county road right now. It's a nice day. Must be about 85 degrees out. Very nice. And once you get past the really hot, rainy summer days, every day is like this. You know, we might get a little bit of rain once or twice a week. Even in the summer when it's raining, we just go out for our rides a little before or after the rain. But we can ride 4 or 5 days a week easily. And we like it. So here's our road narrows, and our no river access, and our dead end. And there actually is river access for us. But the river is right on the other side of these homes. You can kind of see it down that way. These little homes are really pricey. I can see why. They're on the river, but it's so noisy. They say in the summer you can practically walk across the river on the tubers and kayakers that are out there. And there's a bunch of them. There's a little squirrel running. So we figure it's about 3/4 of a mile down here to the park, and we have rigged up some a little like a trailer hitch on the back of our bike so that we can pull our kayaks down here on our bikes. Slow down a little, gear down a little, and we'll see who's here at the guard. Can't see the guard. I don't see anybody in there. Yep, I don't know where they are. We'll probably check our thing up here. You want to park in the grass again?
Sure.
Then we'll take a walk around and see our little park. There's somebody kayaking out there. Let's see, we've gone 5.8 miles already. I'm going to leave my helmet on so that I can videotape our little tour of the park. How's that sound? So here's our park, and that's the showers and bathrooms up there in that building. There's a little gazebo there, and then there's a pavilion here. Oh, I didn't see those people. And then there's another pavilion down here. Shall we walk this way? I guess I can take this off and hold it. Maybe that's easier. Give my head a break. We got lots of parking. This little lagoon is where we can launch our kayaks and then go right out into the river. Looks like their chain broke. Somebody probably sat on it. It's probably plastic. So we got parking. There's a car up there at the guard shack. But maybe they're up taking a nap or something. I don't know what's upstairs there. So here's our other pavilion, and other than holidays, we can reserve them for parties. It's a nice little park, and it's quiet. Here's our kayak launch here, and you can see how clear that water is down there. And the rules for the river, which I think are really good on the river, it's a state park, and the river is actually part of it. So there's no alcoholic beverages, no paper, no plastic bottles. And yeah, snakes and alligators occasionally. Here's our little launch area. Pretty nice. I guess nobody's going to bother our bikes, what do you think? We got sprinklers down here. Actually, we ought to go back the other way.
Okay.
Just in case the guard wonders where they are and throws them in the river or something. It's a pretty view there. We're halfway done with our ride, more than halfway done. And we haven't even begun to see all the places. I was kind of thinking we'd see Bryant here, because he has to work on this sometimes, but figured we could go around the other side and still keep an eye on stuff.
Okay.
People come here and sit all the time. We'll go down and around to that way.
Okay.
Oh, the fish are waiting. Hello. Trying to get you to walk next, if there's room. Another little parking area here. And these are Conti palms that have what they thought was an extinct butterfly. Now it's coming back. Well, we haven't heard of the butterflies around here, but we have heard of some around Lakeland. And there's a nice view of the river. And hopefully we'll get around a little farther and we might be able to see the water clarity. If not, we'll see it when we go back. This is kind of the hidden side. Looks like the bird, oh, that's lichen that's growing on the tables. There we go. Now you can see upriver. That big sign in the river is the start of the state park. And past that sign you can't have motors. Oh, somebody jumped in, headed out there. Pretty good, huh?
Beautiful.
There. Okay, now we're at the steps to our little swimming area. It's not very big, but you can see how clear the water is here. Those are fish. Most of them are panfish. Some of them are bass. There's a little bass over that way. And this is what the water's like year round, and it's, I think, 76 degrees. I forget what the water temperature is.
73.
73 degrees year round. Which seems warm coming from the north, but compared to a heated pool, it's a little chilly when it's cold in the summer. So that's our swimming area. And that guy just jumped in and he's swam all the way across the river. Okay, we're getting ready to go again. There's our bikes. Teresa's white step through ST. You can see the name on there, Lectric. There it is. And then mine's the black one. It's the XP. I added some reflectors and a bigger seat and stuff. Are you okay to get your bike turned around?
Yeah. Right now.
There we go. Where do you want to go now?
Head back up our road and go to the left where the duplexes are.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. These little electric motors with having a twist throttle really helps a lot for getting off the from a dead start. You don't have to try to pedal or anything. You just turn the throttle and sit down and worry more about your balance. There's our railroad tracks. And off we go. Woo. Most of the time I spend in fourth gear on the mechanical gears of the bicycle in pedal assist, or PAS2, which Gives us about 10 or 11 miles an hour. Just about the right speed for sightseeing. There's been several trips we've seen deer, and it's 10 minutes to 6, so we might get lucky and see some. Go back across our railroad tracks. Now we're back on a county road. Breezier. But it's nice being out here away from any big cities. Half an hour to Ocala, maybe an hour to Gainesville, an hour and a half or 2 hours to Tampa, maybe 2 hours to Orlando. So we can get to those cities or the airports in those cities if we want to. But out here, as you can tell, it's just not a bunch of traffic, not a bunch of people. Car coming. I'm going to zip over first. Make our turn here. Pretty risky, but we made it, huh? Here's one of the fairways. They keep them pretty well mowed, and a lot of people mow them themselves, depending on where they are in here, since it's not a golf course anymore. And then this area here is duplexes, but they're weird duplexes. They look separate, but they're connected by a wall. So it's the only street with duplexes, and you can kind of tell they're all identical. And there's maybe, what, 30 or 40 of them here. I guess we'll find out if the sun is going to make a glare on the lens on the camera. I hadn't thought about that. As it gets lower into the sky. So going up this hill, you can probably see it's a steep hill, but if I bump it up to PAS 5, I'm still pedaling. Really not putting any pressure on the pedals. But I'm going 16 miles an hour uphill and certainly not making any effort, which I enjoy. I don't think my hips or my ankles or knees would survive very well. So now I'm back in PAS 2 on the top. That's a pretty dog. Hello. He's a good dog. How you doing back there, Teresa? Wonderful. A little squirrel on the right watching us. These bikes are a little on the heavy side, but they are, I guess if you didn't have the electric assist and you just had to pedal it, you were going uphill much, it would be harder than a regular bicycle. I don't remember how much the bikes weigh, 65 pounds or something like that. I don't remember for sure. I'm going to make a left turn up here, Teresa. I don't see any deer back in there. We've seen them there before. Goodness. I'm the turn signal guy. The yards here are just really pretty. People really make an effort. Oh, there's one for sale. Yeah, almost as soon as they go up for sale, they get a sale pending sign on them. So they're not hard to sell around here. And we know there's kids because we know the school buses have stops on the outside. There's another nice place. I don't know what these little yellow bushes are with the bright yellow plants on them, but they're pretty. I'm moving my head around more. So back in this area is one of the, I think it's one of the older neighborhoods. The houses, in some cases, are larger. We see more deer back in here. They just cleared another lot. There's actually lots of vacant lots here for sale also. Don't know what the prices are, but I'm ready to put a new home in. But if the interest rates today being, I don't know what it is, around 4% or 3% for homes, buy a home here for $200,000 and you'd be paying a lot less than you would for rent. And for the HOA fee of $24 a month, you get to use the clubhouse, and they have a exercise room and a pool and horseshoes and tennis courts. And there's a restaurant up there too. Plus you get the use of that park on the river. For $24 a month, that's pretty reasonable. And then whatever your HOA fee for your small HOA that you live in, you have that also. So it comes out reasonable. This is really nice cul-de-sac in here, bigger homes. I think we saw some of these, but these are 3,000 square foot homes and probably upgraded with all the bells and the whistles. Sometimes we see deer down these little trails on the side. I don't see any that way. And then this one on the left, we've seen deer down here quite often. And they're not down that way. They might be upset because of that lot being cleared in their land. How you doing back there, Teresa?
Wonderful. I keep looking for deer, but I haven't seen
any. Well, this is a nice little street we go on too, and we've seen up here in a couple hundred yards, we saw a whole herd of deer down in a little swale area, and with that we saw in the middle of the herd of deer there was a raccoon. That was pretty weird. It looks like misters to cool us down here. Well, it's interesting. You see almost no political yard signs. There was one there, that place that was being sprinkled, because it's against, it's like a lot of HOAs. They don't allow you to put signs in your yard. But there's almost none of them now. There were quite a few about a month ago. People started putting them out that didn't realize you'd get fined by the HOA, and now it's just a few the more hardcore, I guess, political people that apparently they are willing to pay the fine. I don't see any deer on the left. Sometimes they're back in here. It looks like they're clearing that lot. And this is where we saw a whole herd of deer down in there, but not today. I'm going into the sun now with the camera, so that'll be entertaining. Anyway, that's my story about the Rainbow Springs Golf and Country Club. Rainbow Springs Estates, or whatever it's called, but it's about a mile north of the city limits of Dunellen, Florida. It's in the lower southwest corner of Marion County, Florida. And we like it here. It'd be interesting to see if it picks up your voice with the camera. I forgot there's ventilation in the helmet going up. It's clear. Figured you.
It may be picking up my voice because I was hearing an echo a while ago.
Oh, okay. Shall we go around the left again?
Sure.
We see deer behind this house a lot, but not today. Guess we're not going to have a deer sighting. But it's just mile after mile of pretty houses to look at, and plants, and flowers, and squirrels, and bunnies, and raccoons, and possums, and deer, and foxes, and I guess there's even some coyotes on the more wooded side. We're in the breeze now. We shall see. This area had a bunch of political signs in it for quite a while. Now they're all gone. I don't know what the fine is, but apparently some people are willing to pay that. Although, what's today? October 26th. And most people, I think it's like 42% or something of the people have voted of the total population of voters, but there's always 10 or 15% or more that don't vote. So I would guess half the people that are going to vote have voted. And the other half that haven't voted yet, I'm sure, have made up their minds on most of the issues. There's a little squirrel coming out to see us. Hi, there he is. I think by the time we get up to the next stop sign and turn right and head back, we'll have gotten our 10 miles in. It's just so nice out. Oh, there's a Domino's car back there, but I think he's going to miss us. the day we moved in because it was Valentine's Day last year. So I guess Valentine's Day a year and a half ago. Not this year. And our furniture showed up in the nick of time, and our closing went fairly smooth. There's a car coming, but we'll get in front of it. We'll go around us or turn somewhere. We'll get more traffic on this street because this is the main drag in the subdivision. This cuts from the very northern part to the very southern part of the subdivision. Well, we'll see in the edits if I've learned to move my head less. Oh, I missed him. Just trying to hold my head straight. I guess if I turn my head slowly, it's going to be like one of those big pan shots. Another car coming behind us. There's another house for sale with a sale pending. That's a pretty house. Like I said, they come up for sale and people buy them, but I guess our property value on our taxes went up this year over last year, 10% or so, which is good. But I still think it's a bargain to buy a house here. It's a nice hill to coast down now. Now on the left side, there's homes and more little streets that go back, and then on the right side is, I think, the 17th, maybe the 16th fairway. And we've seen some deer back in there too. Lots of open land. Like any other subdivision, you need a swale for the runoff for every so many homes. So there's a bunch of swales that they keep mowed and cleaned out. I think that's a Department of Natural Resources requirement that they keep those cleaned out so they're not all mucky and stuff. Very pretty. I think there's another little HOA called Fairway Estates. We looked in there too. It's about the same size as our HOA. And then they have group mailboxes, which isn't inconvenient for us because it's in our front yard for our cul-de-sac. How we met a bunch of people after we moved in. I moved up to PAS3. I'm down 2 bars on the charger, but I wasn't fully charged when we left. Up that down to 2. Right is the 18th fairway. And if we follow that little path there, it goes up to the clubhouse where the restaurant is. And we'll take a little trip up the sister cul-de-sac of Fox Trace. And there would be a nice sign here, but somebody ran off the road and ran over our little sign. So this is Fox Trace Part B. We're in Part A. They look like little twins. Somebody else with their doggy. Hi. So our house is directly behind this house here, up that little sidewalk, which is a cart path that connects the 2 cul-de-sacs. Which is tricky going up that little cart path because you got to go slow. And it's hard to keep the bike on it. You just go back out with it. So this is the other half of our HOA. Yep, I think we're getting 11 miles in today. No cars. Zoomy, zoomy. And we coast down another hill. It's interesting to find out this house here on the right with the flag there. The lady was coming out, we were talking to her, and she grew up in Flushing, Michigan, where I did. She was, I think, 2 years ahead of me, 2 or 3 years ahead of me in school. And her younger sister was in my grade in school. I think she was in my grade. Small world. This is our street, Southwest 84th Place. And there's the Fox Trace sign that hasn't been run over by anybody. Looks like they're cleaning out stuff there. Maybe they're going to get a new roof or something. Don't know. This is our street. We have a security company that drives around all the time. And somebody driving around, so that's our HOA. The head of our HOA lives right behind us, and he also is, I think, I think he's the manager of security too. Here we are back home at our house. Happy house. Yeah, it's about 11 miles. I would say that was a good trip.